Councillor Mihevc is next to question staff.
Thank you very much. I have some questions of the fire chief and some questions of the CGM. So at the end of the day, after all is said and done, your view as the fire chief for the City of Toronto is that this right-of-way and St. Clair is safe from a fire protection point of view?
For response time for our apparatus, the answer is yes. We can get on and off the right-of-way.
Currently, when it is rush hour and we're basically cheek to jowl on St. Clair, as many other streets in the City of Toronto, is it difficult for your fire trucks to go through the street?
Certainly, I haven't had any reports that it's difficult for us. We're able to move around.
No, sorry, this is in the sections where there is not a right-of-way.
Well, there's not a right-of-way?
There's not a right-of-way. Do you often happen on St. Clair as any other street?
Yes.
Where you're just basically stuck in the middle of traffic and basic gridlock?
Yeah, we get gridlocked, and there's opportunities in some cases to try and move, and other cases we're...
With the right-of-way, you would have an opportunity basically to mount, and once the adjustments are made, mount more easily the right-of-way, and yes, proceed not as quickly as you would like, not with your pedal to the metal or metal to the pedal, but you would be able to transverse St. Clair more quickly, given that you would have a dedicated right-of-way. Would that make it not more safe and more quick in terms of response times during rush hours?
The issue is we would be moving, Councillor, along the right-of-way.
Great.
Based on the gridlock or congestion.
So one could conclude from that you'd be more safe, or quicker response times would result. In the fighting of fires, right now there is a web of wires from one side of the street to the other side of the street that sometimes may impede your ability to use a ladder, to use a hose, to use your apparatus or apparati for firefighting. Those wires, because it is center poled, will be removed. Does that make firefighting an easier occupation under those conditions?
We can deal with wires above us or around us as we have for many years.
Which is better?
Certainly, it depends on pole configuration. You know, whether it's center pole or side pole. You know, if you're asking me that's we can talk about both.
Okay, well, my understanding from the review that your fire division did during the EA process, that they didn't mind center polling because that gave an unobstructed, wire-free access to the buildings on the north side of the street and the south side of the street, making it easier for the fighting of fires. Questions to the CGM. I think we may anticipate a motion to basically stop the construction pending a whole bunch of reviews. It's not me. Could I ask the cost of delays? If we were to delay for a year, delay for 6 months, what would be the costs of that, potential costs?
Well, we're currently working on the right-of-way west of Vaughan. We have a contract that we're planning to go out to the street with later this week, and with work to start in August. So there's the potential of losing the rest of this year if we don't proceed with this work. So I'm not sure I could put a price on it. City staff might be able to. Perhaps the most important comment that I can make is in this review, in this most recent week, we've all confirmed that the design for the St. Clair right-of-way does not need to change. As the chief has said, there's a couple of areas that we've agreed to make some adjustments to in terms of curb height, but the actual cross-section, the right-of-way, and all of the designs of St. Clair are not necessary to be changed, so there's no need to delay any of the construction.
The cost, maybe Mr. Butts would have an answer to that. Could you guesstimate, and if we defer this year, then 2009 goes to 2010, any sense of how much money that would cost the city?
I can defer that question to Mr. Welsh.
We've got one contract under construction, and we shut it down this week. It would probably cost us about $20,000 a day in penalties.
A day in penalties, okay? Thank you. Could I ask the Chief General Manager, would there be any implications? We're set to go to engineering drawings. We're doing the EA and all that for Shepherd and for Transit City. Does this impact on Transit City? Any possible delay?
It really is a separate matter. I mean, you're absolutely right. The environmental assessment is before Council for Shepherd next month. We're working with the city on all of the St. Clair work, all of the design and the work that's actually taking place on St. Clair. The design of Shepherd, if there was to be a stop placed on St. Clair for whatever reason, then that would cause us to pause in our work on Shepherd because we'd want to understand what the issues were on St. Clair.
Sorry, Councillor Mihevc, your time is up. I would suggest asking another member to ask your question.